All right, quick update on WMD Garage. So I've got this BMW 135i. No two-seat, 1 or 2 series BMW comes with cooled seats to this day. It is absolutely asinine that they don't do this, even in a $100,000 plus car. So I found a set of Porsche 98 heat seats that have ventilation. And as I'm going to put them in there, the rails are almost exactly the same width, which is awesome. This blue connector right here is for the fan. It has white, black, and red. Black's power, or sorry, red's power, black's ground. And then once you short white to black, it goes full on 100%. So I think it's wanting a CAN signal or a PWM signal on that white wire. And I think I'm just gonna wire it to a momentary switch down here somewhere so I can just turn it on full blast when I want it. Let's see, down in here, just real quick, I had to repin both of these gray connectors. This one on the BMW is for the seatbelt buckle. So that is for the charge that's in there for the airbag and for the clip sensor, whatever you want to call it, to show that your belt's buckled. So anyway, that goes down there. This other sensor here with the other two prongs, you can't really see it very well. Anyway, that other one is for the side airbag. I had to repin that from the Porsche. When I do a full video, I'll break it all down. Anyway, this right here is the sensor. Where'd it go? It's on the inside there, right here. It's to make sure that the seat is back far enough for the airbag to deploy the second stage if it goes off. So I'm gonna still wiring that up. But that goes to the separate connector under the seat. Over here, I had to make a custom shoulder bolt because the Porsche seat has that for the seatbelt holder. So I drilled these little nubs out and threaded them and put bolts in that way to locate it. I made, can't see it now, but a bracket. There's the first version. It kind of looks like that. So it goes like there, and then that tab bends over. But this one was wrong. So anyway, that tab goes in there to just hold it in place. And then, like I said, I had to make this custom shoulder bolt threaded. The thread in here is M11 by 1.25. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. Oh, the mounts. So this mount lines up perfectly on the BMW pretty much. The whole width is off less than a ½ inch and it'll just flex that much. So the fronts, I designed this up. So this right here goes into the main mount for the car, and then this sits up here, and then a bolt goes in from the top. And I'll show you where these go on the car. I recessed the hole on the back as well. So there's these studs from the seat, and that goes in there, and it fits on there. And then in the back, I had printed just a spacer for now, but I'll make a block that kind of looks like this. That's ½ inch tall. That'll go there. Anyway, connector is just the same, just requires a little repinning, and hopefully this will be done pretty quick. And it doesn't time out. Yeehaw. Full stack up. That's the piece off the Porsche frame rail. It goes in right there. And so I made a piece of steel to go in the middle. I tapped these holes. These are just basically pins to locate this so it doesn't twist. And then it indexes on that piece right there to hold it in place. And then I had to create the custom shoulder bolt like you saw earlier. Boom. connector goes right here. That slides in there along with this wire that used to be pinned in here. And you can see that these little spring-loaded pins on there show that it's an airbag. So this goes to the side airbag over here. So you have to pull those out just with a pair of pliers, and then you can push them into the other connector that you'll take off BMW. I lied. That little spring thing in there, there's a retainer tab down in there. You gotta depress that and pull it out at the same time. You gotta press in that tab from the back side, and then you can pull it out. But just be very careful, because they're very delicate. All right, this right here is blue connector, so it goes to the fan. To wire that up, I'm gonna try and use just these cheapo jumper wires. If you take that black tab up, it'll come out that way. And then these, to get these out, you have to press in the little rectangle spots right there. Press that tab down, and then it'll get stuck at the lower spot. Those so tiny. Whatever, you get it. The rectangle spot, then it'll go down to the next one. You got to press down there too, and then it'll come out. So what I'm gonna try and do is put these in there and see if they'll seat, and then I can use this to plug into the fan. All right, it's not great. They wiggle a little bit in there, but I think it's gonna work. So the TLDR is, I depinned this connector, put in jumpers like this. You got a male on one end and a female on the other. Heat shrunk them. I haven't done this one yet, but the heat shrink goes on there. And then this one is the power that goes into this connector, and then these two will go to the switch. They'll get bridged at the switch over here, and we should have a cool ass. All right, moment of truth. Yep. So these Porsche seats, when you put power to them, the buttons work all the time. Like BMW seats, they time out after a while if they don't get a CAN signal, but the Porsche seats will go indefinitely, which is awesome. All right, so got this little wire jumper connected here. So basically, I took the jumper wire, split it into a switch. So if I turn this on, hopefully the fan turns on. Okay, I got this one done. Power going to the seat, that's all that goes into this connection. This is the side airbag the connector that's on the BMW seat belt is what this goes into. The seat belt connects into what this came out of from the seat. So, like I said, I spliced those wires up here in the switch. Fan turns on. It's on low right now. If I put the ground on this connection, it doesn't light up that light, and the fan spins quite a bit faster, but I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. All right, the next trick is to get power to this connector right here. So I spliced those jumper wires in and heat shrunk them on, but there's no power that comes there. I have no idea where it comes from. It's gotta be somewhere in here with the CAN signal and all that BS. So this connector over here has the same 3 wires that are going to this. I have no idea what this goes to. It must be something that's in the car I have no idea. Anyway, you can take these, anyway, cut that wire. I cut that wire, it's right here. So I'm gonna take 2 of those and solder them to the hot and the ground in there, so it'll get power up here, and then I can just control it, switch. Ta-da! These are the seat adapters that I made for the 981 Porsche seat going into my BMW 135i. So this hole here is for this stud, and then the bolt that goes through here goes here, and it just spaces it up the same amount. So the bolt for the actual seat goes in here, and on the back it's counterboard for the stud that's part of the car body. So you mount this on the car, and then the seat sits down on there, and then you put in the bolt at the angle like that, and that's how they bolt in. So this is the bracket that holds the seat belt in. See that tab right there, and the bolt goes through there. So this bracket back here is the same as it came on the Porsche seat. And then I fabricated this piece up just to position this while you put the bolt in. So I drilled out the 2 nubs on the back of there, threaded them for a little M4 bolt, and then they're just basically locating pins at this point, and then the new bolt will go on. And then it slots in like that, and it holds the seat belt in the right position, about there-ish. All right, this is how it came out of the connector. The middle gray piece right here that's all contained in the seat belt. So that's the BMW seat belt that's going back into the car attached to the Porsche seat. This is the side airbag, so it's in that square connector. I need to take depin this connector and connect up the airbag from this seat that I already depinned. That connector for the seat airbag, the side one, came in that L-shaped gray connector. So I depinned that, and then I'm gonna put it into this when I take it off. All right, this is how easy it is to repin it. Take the tab side of this, fill a tab on it, stick it in there, till it clicks, and do the other side, till it clicks, and then make sure that it's got that third piece in there that bridges them when it's not connected. Beyond that, you just have to fish the seat connector up yonder. Oh, yeah. I had to take this clip off, this wire management clip. Later, so that I can get enough length to get up here to the connector. So the black one will go in first, and then this square gray one slots in next to it, and then this square one locks it all together if you put it in the right way. And then, yep, it's clipped in there, and then that will clip up and seat in there, and the connector will go in there. Where'd my other wire go? Here. And then that will go to the occupancy sensor. Not the occupancy sensor, what am I talking about? The seat position sensor, right here. Anyway, almost done. All right, to get that seat belt mount out, you have to put the seat back, the seat rails. I went the wrong way again, all the way the other way. These seats got to be all the way back. There we go. And then now you have to take this rail off, which means this bolt here, and then you should be able to flex it out enough to get to the bolt on the other side of here. Then this pivots out and away, like out and away like that. These are the 2 nubs that I'm talking about drilling out right here. And then I'll put a 4 millimeter bolt in there just to locate, and then grind off the end. All right, I'm not giving everything away, but this is the bracket I made to hold the seat belt in place. That tab bends over. It bends pretty much right on that line right there. If you're smart enough to be able to do this, you should be able to smart enough to know how to replicate this. That hole is 5/8 of an inch exactly. And then, like I said, once I put threaded these in here, I just transfer punched them and drilled them to this over here. And then this clips in here. That mounts to, framing. Goes on there like that. Like I said, those pins are just to locate this while you tighten the bolt down. Anyway, this slides into the seat, gets bolted in, and then the seat belt goes on here with that tab bent out this way. Good luck. All right, this is what it looks like. All right, last look. Goes in right there. Custom made shoulder bolt. Bracket on the back. Tab to lock in the thing. All right, I was losing my damn mind because I did that seat like a week and a half ago, and I was waiting for time and shit to get in. I forgot that you have to repin this connector. So this is the hot right here, which is correct, but the ground on the BMW seat comes in here, and it needs to be repinned out to there. You push in that tab, pull it out, push it over to there, and then you're good to go. But I thought there was something wrong with the seat. I was losing my damn mind. Anyway, also, the seat position sensor, this connector right here, that goes back to that connector, it is polarity specific. I'm not bothering to figure out which one it is, but just try one, read the codes. If it's current, switch it and clear codes.